In a village there lived a sage who had immense faith in God. One day, the sage was sitting under a tree, meditating and remembering God. Suddenly, a flood came, and water filled the entire area. People started running towards the hills to save themselves. They saw that despite the dangerous situation, the sage was still immersed in his meditation. The people wondered why the sage was not trying to save himself. They approached the sage and said, "Why aren't you leaving? Come with us to the hilltop, or else you will drown in the water." The sage replied, "Nothing will happen to me, because I have such deep devotion towards God that He Himself will come to save me." Slowly, the water level rose to the sage's waist. People then began leaving in boats toward the hills. One of the men in the boat called out, "The water has now reached your chest. Come with us, get into the boat." But the sage said, No, you go ahead. God will come and save me Himself." The boatman then left. After a while, the water rose so high that it reached the sage's head. Rescue helicopters started arriving to save the people. One helicopter came near the sage, and a man inside threw down a rope and said, "Hold on to this and come up, or else you'll drown. This is the last helicopter, and there's no other way for you to be saved." But the sage said, "Pull back your rope. I have full faith in my God. He will save me." Soon after, the water rose even higher, submerging the tree, and the sage drowned and died. After his death, the sage went to God and said, "O Lord, I spent my entire life worshiping you. I waited with complete faith that you would come to save me, but I died in the flood. Why didn't you come?" God replied, "Foolish man, I came to save you 3 times. The first time I came on foot, the second time I came with the boat, and the third time I came with the helicopter. But you did not recognize me in any of these forms. I don't know who you were waiting for." The moral of the story is that God helps us in different forms, but we need to recognize Him and understand His signs at the right time. Instead of just waiting, we should seize the opportunities when they arise.